it's extraordinary at the moment. The press are almost too pro-United. If you believed our popular press, all United have to do is turn up. The other teams will lay on the ground, kick their heels in the air and give us 3 points. But that's just, and the Championship is done and dusted, but that is just not the case, is it?
The fortunate thing is that the press may go about their business that way and try to build up this great euphoria about United and unbeatable and all the rest of it. But I think the people in here are a bit wiser.
Yes.
We remember losing the week to Leeds.
Yes.
We remember having the 12-point lead over Blackburn Rovers getting whittled down to, I think it was 4 points when they beat us at Blackburn, but eventually winning it. So we remember these things. These are experiences which benefit you when the time comes for digging in and getting results when you're not expected to get them, when you're playing badly. And that will come. Believe me, that will come. There'll be times in the run-in when you play badly and you hope you get something out of it.
It's nice, though, for the United players to have good things written about them. I mean, over the years, United, particularly recently, United have won an awful lot, but the individual players have not been cited for many awards. And there have been players that have been more criticised than our players have been praised. And I, for one, enjoy reading the accolades that at the moment that are being...
Well, I think from a player's point of view, I think that it's always nice to read good things about you. And most people do that. I tend to not read the press anyway, you know, that I tend to be more long-term view about the thing. I tend to be a bit one-eyed about the job, you know. I think I have to be that way. But I can appreciate what it does for players. Confidence is a big part to play in any player, and what you're seeing with Andy Cole at the moment is a combination of his confidence soaring through his fitness. Yeah. And people would look at Andy Cole and say, well, why is he playing so well now? But people forget that he's had a continual injury problem. I mean, 2 broken legs, which is in itself a major injury. He had the shin splints operation in his first summer with us.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia, and then he had an abscess. And so, and pneumonia, for instance, it takes you 6 months to go over. Yeah. So when you look at all these things, it's not surprising he wasn't producing his very, very best. But now he's fit and he's flying. He's making a great contribution to the team. He
must be some young man to have survived all that flack and all that criticism, to have taken all that and just and just got on with it.
Yes, and I think this made him a better person too, because I think he's very wary of doing a lot of interviews, because he knows that it can turn immediately for him. And the press, unfortunately, that's the way the press are. They've got a job to do. They're competing with television. They're competing with this interview, that type of thing. They're competing with instant news, so they have to create another level of media attention.
Don't you think that at the moment too, United's fortunes and England's fortunes are sort of inextricably linked? Because there's so many of the United squad in the England squad. There's sort of the two are running parallel. Almost.
Well, I hope so. I hope it'd be very good for English football, for the English national team to do well in France. I think.
And Scotland too, obviously.
Well, they're set to do well. The master race is going to be. Teams are trembling. Brazil, and financial crisis in Brazil since the draw. People are leaving the country. But England have a genuine chance of getting to the final, I feel. Whereas Scotland will do well to qualify from their section.
That will be a major triumph. Group, that, isn't it?
So people were looking at the Spain group, as they said, they called it a group of death. But I think the Scotland group is a very difficult group. Norway, of course, are
they've got half our team.
Yeah, no, I'll be withdrawing them for the Scotland game. Yeah. I'll be bringing them back. Can't possibly let them play against Scotland. They've been warned, been told. Morocco are a tough opponent, so it's a very tough group that. But I think England, they're in the best group. They're in the easiest group. It gives them the opportunity to get to the next stage, and I think they could do very well.
And do you think the international experience that the younger members, well, and Teddy Sheringham, Gary Pallister, that they're all having together with England is benefiting the players?
Absolutely. Yeah. Experience of playing at the very top end of the game is always beneficial to players, and particularly young players, because it's a more lasting thing that they develop through that, and the maturity comes quicker. We're seeing that at the moment with our young players. They're maturing very quickly now.
I mean, this season, Beckham, but, and to an extent, I mean, Ryan Giggs, his overall game this season has been, his contribution to the game has been fantastic, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, what you're seeing with Ryan is the development of a footballer who has marvellous talents.
Yes.
Probably the most talented player in the British Isles. But with every talented player, that he has to develop other parts of his game, or eventually that is only one-dimensional. This wonderful balance and ability to beat men and penetrate with running with the ball. Now Ryan is passing and running without the ball, and is adding these things to his game, which is making him a more full player, a more complete player, and one who is at the peak of his game at the moment. And I think that you're going to see in the next few years him become a big star.
Because he's taken on that performance against Porto last season, which was probably his best performance in a United shirt to date.
I would think
and
one of his
he's
best,
taken
yes.
and built on that and added all those attributes, the tackling back. I mean, he's always been able to do that. He's a great tackler,
he's always a
Ryan
marvellous
Giggs.
tackler.
Yeah, but
Unbelievable tackler.
he does that consistently, particularly now when quite often you're playing the three men up front, Solskjaer, Sheringham and Cole, and then you have Butt, Beckham and Giggs in the midfield, and so Beckham and Giggs have to play a slightly more defensive role quite often. So he's...
Depending on attacking and defending and heading the ball off the line a lot. A big S in his jersey.
Superman.